Santa Clara County housing down 36%. Three things you need to know. Today we're talking about 36% off the market. Holy cow. Um, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. The other things that we'll talk about today is there's now I have a search for you, homes for sale near Ample campus. So I'm going to start doing those little things real quick. And then San Jose residents don't want to retire here, and how to cope with empty nest in retirement. And yeah, kind of starting to hit close to home. So that's why I want to talk about this. Let's talk about that one real quick. See how emotional I'll get. My son is actually home from Chico today. He's hanging out with his friends, but got to see him late last night before I started falling asleep. And he's sleeping right now. So I'm trying to keep it as quiet as possible because he's in the room next door. But going through watching your children move out, go off to school or go to the military or what have you, it's recognition of the next chapter of your life. And that's kind of difficult for a lot of people. It was horribly difficult for me. But going through all this right now, it's all about getting used to it, understanding it. We have two more daughters. They're juniors. They start this week. They're going into the whole next phase of their life. Mike is going into his phase of becoming an adult. He's a junior in college. And, we're getting ready for what's going on. So we're talking about what you can do. So plan ahead. Yeah. You know what? Don't stick your head in the dirt. Start thinking about it now, right? Because when it's happening, at least you'll have some kind of idea of how to transition, right? Don't not do it. Oh yeah, don't put it on the kids. They're going through their own turmoil, right? They're trying to settle in, trying to figure out how to be adults, how to accept those new challenges, how to struggle with finances, meet new friends, the isolation. Their whole life is disrupted. So network. I think that's why I go to the church, because I have new sets of friends there that are going through similar things, but also it's different recreational things. Like I'm hiking. I'm going to go on a hike right now and suck it up. I don't know if you've seen my videos on me hurting, but do new things, get into archery, tennis, pickleball, whatever. And I think that's why the Villages is so expansively popular, because there's so much to do that they're diversions, right? And reconnect with your spouse, because there's certain pains and grudges that you have to deal with over the life that you had that's transitioning. So reconnect. It's going to be important. Find that new role. You might be retiring. This is the next chapter, right? So you might be trying to figure out what you're doing, what you're going to do with your life, find a new hobby, find new friends, get into it. And that's the things that I've been exploring. It's one of those really, really tough things for me, watching my kids grow up. Yeah. So I'm doing new fun things. Right now it's hiking, getting in better shape, focusing on my mental and spiritual facets, focusing on the business and moving forward. So redefine yourself, right? We just watched Barbie last night. It was all about defining who you are before you accept something else or someone else. But there you go. And keep up with your kids. One thing I do, I'm not saying this works, but I do a lot of TikTok, and I send them TikToks that I think are funny, kind of like stupid dad jokes, but it's just another way to keep connected with them. They're attached to their digital device, whether it's an iPad, their phone, their watch, or what have you. There's just one simple way to do it. So I send them TikToks, and it's sometimes funny, sometimes inspirational, but there you go. All right. People don't want to send. There's a lot of retirees that are just sitting there, right? They're just sitting there in a big house with Proposition 19 allows you to move your tax basis out there to different parts of California, if that's what you want to do. A lot of people move into the outskirts of California, to the Central Valley, to the beaches, to wherever, because the cost of living might be better. There's a different scenery. Some people are attached to their homes, right? And I get that. And one of the strategies I state is keep your home, stay in your home until you pass on. Financially, it's one of the strongest decisions you can do for your estate planning, for all that. But there's strategies that we talk about, right? There's different things about living in San Jose that are becoming much more difficult, like getting anything done. You have to have a permit for everything. You have to deal with everything: cost of living, cost of doing business, cost of having a repairman come in. It's usually any time now. It's $200-300 to have anything done. Fix your dishwasher, fix your whatever, right? It's because everything's expensive here. Just have to deal with it. And it's more expensive here than it is, say, in the Central Valley, because out there's a lower cost of living. You don't have to pay that much in rent. And rent and housing is a huge portion of everybody's outgoing spending, right? So transit, I think, that I don't even want to get into that. Transit here has always been like a third class citizen. Nobody cares about it. The only people that really use it are, I guess there's a few people that do it, but I always hear bad stories about it. So anywho, let's talk about the numbers. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, real estate WTF of the week. I want to go to this one. Let's see if this one still works. Is that one running around? Where is it? Yeah. Guys, get your AC checked. Well, I don't know if you can see it. Probably can't, but they had that green room. I'm sure you saw it. If you don't, subscribe to it. Okay, so right now we have 203 houses on market over 40 days. 72, which the numbers are dropping, right? Which is good. REOs, we have 29 whole REOs in 10 counties. That's 2.9 houses, REO, bank-owned properties in 10 counties of Bay Area. In all of California, there's 221. It's proving to the point that over the last year, there's just no need for us to look forward to buying REOs as a strategy. They're just not. And the ones that stay there and linger are they're horribly displaced houses or maintained houses. Depending on if you're looking at realtor.com or San Jose actual feed, there's 266 to 346 homes for sale in San Jose. That means there's 1.5 houses per square mile in San Jose. Last week we had 73 closes, which, again, the summer doldrums, right? The summer slowdown is kind of normal. We see the inventory go up or stabilize. Housing stays on market a little bit longer, which you see down here, 19 days. And we saw it just pop up. Again, that's the transition from 4th of July weekend, right? That kind of we'll see this slow down. But as we get into September, we're going to see these numbers increase. Days on market. Again, we're seeing the transition invert again. We talked about it last week, right? This week we had 105, almost 105.62 list price to sales price ratio. Last year it was 99, right? The numbers are inverted. Same thing here. Average sales price this last week in San Jose was 1.6. Last year's 1.59. So we're actually inverted, right? We had more closes last year, but that's just because the volume was there. There was far more inventory, and I think that's the problem, right? I was saying it here. Here's July's numbers, and this number is going to change, right? This 5,865. This is 5,865 houses, townhouses, and condos sold year to date. 2005, we had 13,000. 2004, we had 14,000. Right now, we're the lowest it's been. We have the lowest number of sold houses right now in the last 20 years, year to date, in Santa Clara County. I mean, the chart kind of proves it, right? So this number right here, 2020, 6588 was the next closest, looks like, and then 6565, which was right here. But right now, it's because inventory is so low. You can't have a market when it's 346 units for sale. It's just a seller's market, even though rates are stupid high. And that's because rates were low, 2% to 3%. 60 or 65% of all houses that have mortgages on it across the United States are below 3%. Why would anybody sell their house? So it's going to be difficult. Yesterday, we talked about buy now with the anticipation of rates going down eventually. Well, the rates will eventually go down because we're artificially high because we were artificially low. We're trying to balance the economy, balance inflation. And that's sticky wicket, right? We're seeing numbers, but we're not believing them, yada, yada. But there you go. All right. Are we going to see prices come down? Not unless we see a major disruption somewhere. We have corporate housing, corporations buying up houses en masse. We have sellers not wanting to sell because their rates are so low. We have what have you. So the main people that would be selling are divorcees, death in the family, empty nesters, relocation. Those are the four main people that family types or seller types that we're focusing on right now. It's just, but those numbers have condensed because if I was told I had to relocate, I would find a property manager and have my house rented out because I would never get rid of that house ever. Some people just don't want to deal with it. I totally understand. Empty nesters, people that want to go into retirement homes or pass on to their families, those are the people that you want to find, but those houses aren't going to be as nice or updated or well maintained as a brand new house or the high-end houses. Some people will update them and remodel them, but then you're dealing with somebody else's style if you're buying it. So there's a lot of different options out there. I'm dealing with a couple different listings right now where we're deciding if we want to do work or not. And I don't care either way. Just know that if you're expecting 1.8 and your house hasn't been maintained and you have an original house and original appliances and everything looks 40 years old, you're not going to get that 1.8. You might get 1.3, maybe 1.4. If you do a complete remodel, then you're talking about a couple $100,000. Your ROI becomes more evident. You're going to get 1.7, 1.8, depending on the market, but you're also spending $200,000 or $300,000. So if you go from 1.3 to 1.7, you're really only making another $100,000 on it, and then you have to pay taxes, all sorts of stuff. So I never pressure people. I always talk about what you can do and what you can't do, different options, and let you decide. My job is to educate you on that. So anyway, there you go. We talked about empty nesters, how to cope with that. Housing is down 36%. San Jose residents don't want to retire here. Yeah, that's it. We'll talk about financial intelligence some other time. Hey, thanks for hanging in there. I'm Vito with Abitano. We'll see you out there.